Imagine being stripped of your rank, your freedom, and your humanity, forced to fight like a wild animal for the amusement of your captors. What if your only way out of living hell wasn't just to survive, but to become a monster yourself? This nightmare becomes reality for a man named Boyka, a Royal Air Force commander trapped behind enemy lines. The jungle is silent until the cold steel of a blade presses against an American soldier's throat. The Japanese soldier grins, thinking he has won, but the American simply closes his eyes. He isn't giving up, he is focusing. In a split second, the soldier slashes, but the American vanishes from the blade's path. The hunter becomes the prey. With lightning speed, the American, Boyka, trips the enemy, snatching the dagger midair and burying it deep into the soldier's chest with a sickening thud. He doesn't stop. He snaps the ropes binding his hands and hurls the dagger like a missile into a third soldier's skull. Before he can catch his breath, a Japanese officer charges with a katana. Boyka has no weapon, only his bare hands. He weaves through the deadly steel arcs, clapping his hands onto the blade, and wrenches it free, slicing the officer down in one fluid motion. But the jungle comes alive with shouting. Dozens of patrols are closing in. He has to run. He sprints past the wreckage of a glider, ignoring the pain in his lungs. But the terrain is treacherous. Snap! A hidden net engulfs him, hoisting him high into the canopy. He has been caught. He is dragged before Commander Ito, the ruthless leader of the POW camp. Ito looks at this prisoner, a man who killed 5 armed soldiers with a knife and his fists. He realizes this is no ordinary pilot. Flashbacks reveal the truth. Boyka was on a covert mission to the Philippines when his plane was ambushed. He is the sole survivor of a massacre, a lethal weapon wrapped in a flight suit. Ito decides not to execute him immediately. A warrior like this must be broken first. Boyka is thrown into a cramped wooden barack. The smell of sweat and despair is thick. He meets the other inmates, a rugged American nicknamed the Beard and the camp leader Collins. They hope for rescue, but Boyka crushes that hope instantly. He looks them in the eye and whispers, "We are ghosts. Command thinks we died in the crash. No one is coming." The reality hits them like a physical blow. But survival here has rules. The next morning, Boyka is dragged to the dusty training grounds. He is forced to his knees. A young officer draws a katana, the sun glinting off the razor-sharp edge. Boyka braces for the end, but the blade only slices his bonds. Ito watches from the shade, a cruel smile playing on his lips. He isn't granting freedom. He is demanding a show. He declares a death match. 3 starving prisoners are thrown into the ring against a hulking Japanese executioner. The bell rings. One prisoner charges and is instantly leveled by a bone-crushing punch to the chest. The executioner doesn't just fight, he destroys. He grabs another man, tossing him like a rag doll, and shatters the third man's jaw with a sickening kick. It's a massacre. Then, Ito points at Boyka. The executioner sneers, expecting another easy kill. He lunges, but Boyka is a blur of motion. Whack! A devastating kick sweeps the giant's legs out from under him. The camp goes silent. The giant tries to rise, but Boyka is already there. He brings a fist down like a hammer, smashing the man into unconsciousness. Ito is ecstatic. He has found his new favorite toy. That night, in the barracks, Collins pours Boyka a drink of moonshine. He asks where a British pilot learned to fight like a demon. Boyka explains, "I grew up in Hong Kong. I didn't just learn martial arts. I lived them." But Ito isn't done. The next day, the odds change. It's Boyka versus 3 elite soldiers. The bell rings, and they swarm him. Boyka enters a flow state. He ducks a punch, wraps his arms around a soldier's waist, and delivers a spine-shattering suplex. Crash! He spins, launching a flurry of kicks that sends the second man flying out of the ring. The third tries to grapple, but Boyka sinks in a rear-naked choke, squeezing until the soldier goes limp. Ito, disgusted by his soldier's failure, orders the losers executed on spot. Bang! Bang, bang. The brutality is a clear message. Fight for Ito or die. Boyka knows he is running on borrowed time. He tells Collins, "We need a radio." Now, Collins thinks it's suicide, but Boyka has noticed something. The guard tower has a radio. The plan is set. During forced labor, the prisoners stage a riot. Fists fly, dust kicks up, and the guards rush in to break it up. In the chaos, Boyka climbs. He moves like a shadow, slipping into the tower. He grabs the heavy radio, heart pounding against his ribs. He turns to leave and bumps straight into a nurse. She freezes. She's a prisoner too. Her eyes plead for silence. She nods, letting him pass. Boyka smuggles the radio back, hiding it under the floorboards. That night, he creates a dummy in his bed and slips out into the jungle to find a signal. He climbs to the highest peak, extends the antenna, and listens. Static, then a voice. But his hope turns to confusion. The voice speaks in strange, guttural sounds. Navajo. The Americans are using code talkers. Boyka speaks 4 languages, but this is unbreakable. He returns to the camp, defeated but not broken. He tells Collins about the glider he saw in the jungle. "If we can contact the fleet," Boyka whispers, "we can use a skyhook." A plane flies low, hooks a cable, and yanks the glider into the air. It's insane. It's desperate. It's their only chance. But Ito is always watching. He drags Boyka out the next day. He knows about the radio signals. He demands Boyka translate the Navajo code. Boyka spits blood on the ground and says, "Even if I knew, I wouldn't tell a monster like you." Ito snaps. He orders 3 men to beat Boyka with bamboo swords, kendo sticks. Thwack, thwack. The wood splinters against Boyka's back. His skin tears, blood soaking his shirt, but he refuses to scream. The soldiers untie him, thinking he is finished. Big mistake. Adrenaline floods Boyka's system. He snatches a bamboo sword and unleashes hell. He cracks one soldier across the helmet, sweeps the legs of the second, and drives the wood into the gut of the third. He stands tall, a bloody avenger. Ito's deputy raises a rifle and slams the butt into Boyka's skull. Darkness takes him. He wakes up in the infirmary. The nurse is there. She whispers, "Ito kept you alive. He enjoys your pain too much." Suddenly, boom! Explosions rock the earth. The walls shake. Dust falls from the ceiling. The Allies are bombing the island. Ito storms in, his face a mask of rage. He tells Boyka, "If your friends get closer, I will kill every prisoner in this camp before they arrive." Boyka knows he means it. The time for planning is over. It's time for war. Boyka breaks out of the infirmary, grabbing a confused guard and crushing his windpipe with a single kick. He finds a nurse and Collins. "Get to the glider," he screams over the roar of anti-aircraft guns. The camp descends into anarchy. Prisoners are running. Guards are shooting indiscriminately. Collins stays behind to buy them time. He tackles the deputy commander into a muddy trench. They trade blows, brutal, ugly, desperate. Collins fights like a man possessed, biting a chunk out of the deputy's neck. But as he raises a knife for the kill, a stray bullet punches through his chest. Collins falls, dying a hero so his friends can live. Boyka reaches Ito's quarters. He doesn't run. He steps inside. Ito sits there, calm amidst the bombing. He stands, drawing his katana. "I have waited for this," Ito says. They clash, steel against flesh. Boyka dodges a lethal slash, weaving inside Ito's guard. He grabs the wrist, twists, and sends the sword clattering across the floor. Ito pulls a hidden pistol. Bang! He misses. Boyka tackles him, crashing through the paper walls onto the burning veranda. Boyka raises a fist to end it, but Gabriel, the young translator, pulls him back. The plane. "We have to go." They sprint into the jungle as Japanese reinforcements swarm the burning camp. They reach the wreckage of the glider. It's a rusted skeleton, but it's all they have. They strap in. Gabriel fires a flare gun into the sky. Red smoke trails up. A massive C-47 transport plane roars overhead, flying dangerously low. A hook trails behind it. "Brace yourselves." Boyka screams. Clang! The hook catches the cable. The glider jerks forward violently, bouncing, skidding, and then, airborne, they soar over the jungle, leaving the inferno behind. Years later, the war is a memory, but Boyka has one last mission. He travels to Japan, finding a small dojo run by Ito's son. He isn't here for revenge. He is here for honor. The son challenges him, arrogant and proud. Boyka sighs. He throws a single punch, stopping 1 millimeter from the boy's nose. The sheer force of the air blast blows the boy's hair back. The son freezes, realizing the gap in their power. Trembling, the son hands over a small wooden box. Inside are the dog tags of the men who died in that camp. Boyka takes them, finally closing the chapter on his nightmare. He walked into hell a prisoner, but he walked out a legend. What would you do if you were trapped in that camp? Would you fight, or would you break? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this recap of Prisoner of War, smash that like button and subscribe for more brutal survival stories. Until next time,